Yo, 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 what's going on? So, I'm making this video right now on the announcement of the share offering being complete. And as we can see, Gamestop is at 30 bucks right now. But that's good news altogether. But I want to talk about this chart right here. Okay. This chart right here is, I just started messing around with bars pattern, right? I think everybody who watches this video is probably maybe a little bit aware of what bars pattern is, and pretty much what this is, the blue pattern, the blue bars, is just it can be you copy a trend in somewhere in a specific time, and you just copy it. Go to bars pattern. Where is that at? uh, Bars pattern. So let's say you wanted to go from here to this point right here, and then you get a copy right there. So um, that's pretty much the gist of it. Oh, this is this bars pattern here, right? But um, some of you might be familiar with YouTubers making bars patterns for specific stocks, right? AMC for one, Carvana, Gamestop, this one right here, and a couple other meme stocks, just following bars pattern in specific periods of a stock or a squeeze, and seeing if the trend continues or it goes or whatnot. So I wanted to do one, and I wanted to just kind of mess around with it and see what I can get and what I can make fit. And this is kind of really weird because I started making one for GameStop, and I also made one for AMC, but the AMC one is even more weirder. But before I wanted to start with the AMC one, I wanted to talk about the GameStop one because it's really the AMC one is odd for me, and the GameStop now is kind of tracking because I started doing this bars pattern and how I fit this um, around this in Friday. So we had the Roaring Kitty stream on Friday, and obviously we were at 60 bucks, and now we're not, right? We came down all the way to 20, 22, and I I I made this sort of to this bars pattern to fit this this to see if this fits, if I find something that is interesting, right? So now where I got this bar pattern is all the way 2020, right? Okay, so we have the bars pattern that I have is from the low, GME's all-time low right here at 64 cents right now with the reverse split that happened to it. I'm not sure if it was a reverse split or a regular split, but I think it was a reverse split because the price went backwards, right? So um yeah, it is a reverse split if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong, but the all-time low of GameStop is at this point right here, right? So GameStop all-time low, 64 cents and 64.25. Point 0.6425. That was the all-time low, right? So I guess so. Just maybe just adjust it a little bit, but it's not really necessary. 64. I'm just gonna leave it at 64, wherever that is. 64. So I wanted to come from this point, the lowest point in GameStop's history, which is April 20, right? And when GameStop had its golden cross on the daily chart, on the daily chart, the golden cross, which is this chart, this cross right here. All right, so from here to here, we have, I did a bars pattern here from this guy all the way to the golden cross, and then I did one from here to the top of GameStop, which was Thursday 28 2021. But this, okay, so if we just do the date range on that, right? Just do the regular price date range from the low to where we got the golden cross is 108, the bars, right? And same with when we got the golden cross all the way to the all-time high of GameStop, 28. That's 98. I just did it twice just to see where I marked it, just kind of like as a reference, right? So, right. So now, obviously, the low to the golden cross on the daily, that's 108, and from the golden cross to the all-time high is 98. Okay, ignore this for now. This, obviously these two right here, I just said ignore this, but these two right here are I split these, instead of making one big bar pattern for this, I split them. So from the golden cross right here to this swing down here, right here, I made one, and then from up here to the top, I made another one. So I wanted to do one, but I actually ended up splitting them, sort of to make it fit. But all right, so that's the info right there. So 108 bars from the low to the golden cross, 108 bars, golden cross to all-time high, 98 bars, right? So that information, I wanted to compare it with in today's time right now, as we are. So just hide this right now for now. Okay, so GameStop's right now, current 2024 bottom is this point right here, which I believe is 995, the bottom on Tuesday 16 2024, which was about almost 2 months ago. Okay, so um and this bars pattern, I just copied it right now. um let's see, go back. Actually, I have to go back and copy that. So I hit that bars pattern, but let me go copy it again, just to all right. So copy that, paste. Okay. So this particular bars pattern, um, you know, this one is interesting because I tried playing around with this bars pattern and then just try to see what fits where. And this pattern does not fit particularly anywhere. You might think, oh, it's probably the high that we had right here, but it's actually not, because it just doesn't fit with this time that we have right now. So I actually shrinked it more, shrinked it to the point where I can fit it. Um, let's see, where I could fit it here. And I know it doesn't seem like too much of a waste of a stretch, I guess you could say. But this actually, like I said, this actually does fit kind of right here, right? Look at that, and I think it does fit like in the beginning of this run. And I guess you could put this even right here and stretch this out a little bit more right there maybe. uh, it doesn't really fit 100%, but this fits a lot more better here than it does anywhere in this range right here. So I just went with that. I just made it fit to where I thought it could fit. So in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trading days, 9 bars, 108 bars is what this is right here in uh, in 9 trading days, right? But this is not where we get at the end of this isn't where we get our golden cross in this position right here. So we get our golden cross all the way right here, right? So at any given point, um, whether you see a bars pattern that in other charts, what I'm learning as I go is pretty much that any bars pattern can be slowed down or sped up depending on what the algo does. So in this case, like I might be wrong with this information, but in this case, this 108 bars pattern got shrink down to the point where this 108 fits in 9 bars, right? That's what I got because, like I said, this this bar doesn't really fit anywhere. I mean, this the beginning might look a little bit like this, but honestly, it doesn't really, to me, it doesn't really track too much because it might look like that, but that's this bars pattern going after the golden cross. I don't think really fits at all. So this bars pattern to me has to be behind this golden cross to make any sense anywhere here. But once it starts crossing after it, I just don't think it makes sense. That's just me. I don't know. That's my feeling on that, and that might be not really um, something that I should rely on too much. But to me, this fits here perfectly on a 9 day bar pattern in a on a 108 on a 9 day bar pattern, right? So that's where I got that. All right. So that's one part. Okay. So now that's this, right? This took 108 days from bottom to golden cross, and this is a 9 days where we got from the bottom of our 2024 low to 9 days trading this right here, right? Because this doesn't look like a squeeze, like any type of scenario squeeze that we had recently in the last 2 weeks. So I just think this is just the bottom coming here and doing its thing for 108 bars. But in 2024, this happened to be just 9 bars. Okay. So the second part, after on the golden cross, and I just cut it in half. I went from here, and I went into this dip, and I got one bars pattern right there. This one right here. I got that, and I brought it right here. But before I even did that, I actually skipped over a step because, as you can see, this for this low right here, this low, a GME low to the golden cross is roughly 28 bars right there. Now it's kind of rough. It looks a little rough, but it's right there. This is Tuesday 16, and the beginning of that bar is right there, and then the golden cross is right there. So it's 28 bars from here to here. So now I wanted to figure out what the correlation is mathematically, right? So where is this 98 bars here? Like, what can we use, or um what what could it fit to bring it to kind of make any type of sense mathematically, right? So this 28 bars is from the 108, this guy right here, which is 108 bars, April 2020, September 2020. 28 bars, April 16 to Friday, May 24th. Okay, so what does make sense to me? I just look at it mathematically, um, with a simple um, percentage, with math. Just to me, all I did was on a calculator. I just did 98 divided by 108, and it's 90%, 0.90%, 91%, whatever. If you want to match it up to 91%, okay, 91%. And I use that same calculation and multiply it by 28, and I got 25.40. So I rounded that down to 26, and that's where I got this 26. So again, this is just my speculation. This has nothing to do with if this is going to be reality or anything like that. I just came up with this as I went, mathematically speaking. That's it. I'm not a math genius or nothing like that. I just see math, and sometimes I make connections, and that's it. So this bars pattern is right here, and the second bars pattern. Um, okay, but before I go to this bars pattern, right? So the 26 bars, right? So that's where this number we get it from, 25.40. Okay, so I put 26. So I came and did this, and I stretched it out from May 24th to bar pattern 26, or bar 26, and that goes to Wednesday, July 3rd. Okay, so think, just hold that date in consideration when it comes to GME and AMC. Wednesday, July 23rd. Okay, now moving on. This next bars pattern, right? Okay, this next bars pattern, like I just said right now, I got this from this first portion from the second 90 the second night this second bars pattern of 98. I just cut it in half. I went from the daily cross to halfways, not completely halfways, but almost there, and I got this, and I used it on our current time. So this is where we're at right now. So the bottom of this one, which starts right here after this big 108 bars pattern right here, I just came into the next daily candle and I connected it here. Now, right off the bat, this, whatever, it's lower, right? This is not this, and it goes up. But if you think about it, it's still, to some degree, from this candle here going down, it still goes down, right? So whether it's this bars pattern is coming all the way down doesn't mean that it has to go all the way down. It could just go south and then maybe come up. So in any given point, whatever this bars pattern says, or whatever it is, doesn't mean that the price action has to go and hit it to the T, right? But it could help, um, make more connections if it does go to the T. But if it doesn't, okay. But like I said, this is all speculation at the end of the day. Doesn't mean that I know this is going to happen or not. But um, for now, let's just say this goes down, so this bars pattern goes down and then it goes back up, right? So it goes up, and if you guys remember, this right here is the ground zero line, my ground zero line for GameStop. So if you guys haven't seen any of my videos prior to this one, go check out this ground zero, this speed fan, Fibonacci speed fan um, theory that I have using this on GameStop and how it's been playing so far. So um, also check my Twitter because I've been posting pictures and videos on this since we had this little run up right here. I called for this um, for explosive price action beyond above this speed fan right here. So I have a bunch of pictures on my Twitter account, Apes versus the Machine. Check it out, and you could see that I called for explosive price action above this speed fan. So this bars pattern, I definitely like this bars pattern hitting this area because um, we're gonna see why. I'm gonna explain why I like this. Like this candle did not come here hit to hit, but this bars pattern did. But I still like it where it's at because it ended up this the price action ended up going up. This bars pattern hit, but so this one right here in the bottom. So either way you slice it, you're going up. This one's going all the way up, but like I said, these candles don't have to go this way and then this way and then track exactly the same as long as it does the movement it needs to do. So this is where it's at, and then this bars pattern is touching the ground zero line, right? And then after that it comes down, and this price action just goes kind of flat, up and down, wicks up and down, and this candle kind of goes a little up, and this candle right here before the gap up, notice this right here, this blue pattern, bars pattern, goes beyond this one, this ground zero line, and you see explosive price action, right? And then looking at this next section right here, right? I noticed this price action fits, right? This is the Roaring Kitty Chairline tweet, Sunday the 12th, and this is where we had it right here, and we had this explosive price action here, right? So honestly, the only candle that doesn't really fit this price action too much, and maybe I'm looking too much into it, but this big candle right here, and that was the Tuesday following the Sunday tweet, and this was where we went at like almost $80 um, pre-market on a Tuesday. This might be just Roaring Kitty FOMO candle right here. Honestly, this is what this might be. That the return of Roaring Kitty caused this daily candle to be this way. And obviously we went pre-market high, and then we sold off really hard, and we closed um, at 46, 47, $48 that day. So um, this candle doesn't match this bars pattern here, right? If we go on the 4 hour, right, it doesn't really match too much because you see all this bars pattern right here, so it doesn't really match at all. Like I just think it's FOMO, roaring kitty FOMO, true roaring kitty FOMO. So it's an anomaly candle, honestly, because what follows, obviously we had a bunch of downside, and this candle right here matches really good right here, and it just starts going back down. You see the bars pattern going below the ground zero line, and you start seeing this price action just go down here, and then we see another melt up, right? And look at this candle right here goes up high, this bars pattern goes right above here. Okay, so we start seeing Price action go down. This price action right here is this right here on the low. So, and then this candle right here going back up, start seeing this price, another red candle day here. And this is the Friday right here of the stream. So from right here, this bars pattern, we see pretty much a gap down on the bars pattern, but on the price action, we see a sell off, right? So we start seeing this, and this is this day right here on Friday. This is where I started making this all of this chart up right here. This is where I started playing with this bars pattern, and I started experimenting with this. And I was gonna make a video here on Friday, but I didn't really want to kind of get too excited or get too ahead of myself. So I wanted to see what we would do today after hours with any type of announcement for GameStop, and we got the end of the share offering today, actually like about 2 hours ago. So I wanted to wait until then to make any type of video because I just, I could be completely wrong or whatever, and that's it. It's over. But this is Friday, and then this is Monday. So yesterday, um, as much as it hurt me to see this price action go down, the pattern called, the bars pattern called for a downside on Monday, and it went all the way down to $23. And on this trend line here, the bars pattern, you can see bar pattern touching trend line right here. Just the bars pattern, not the price action. The price action touched right here, but the bars pattern touched right here. The bars pattern touched right here, right? This little trend that I made right here from this candle right here. I just combined it to see just to see how it looks. So I combined this. I put a trend line right here, and I put a trend line crossing this bars pattern right here. So so this is where we're at. The second upcoming touch. I was expecting more of a downside, more to roughly 2170, but we got to 28, almost 29, 2280. So we were off by a dollar here. And then today, we got this massive recovery from 2280 to roughly $31. So this is where we're at now. This is bars pattern, like I said. This, whether you think it fits or not, whatever. But honestly, I'm gonna keep tracking this and seeing what it does, because now looking at this for what it is, um, it's interesting to say the least. Because now let's continue with the bars pattern. So this bars pattern, like I said, this second one it ends right here. Okay, it ends right here. Okay, so this bars pattern is a half of a pattern, and then the next half is this one here, and this second half is, I got it from oh man. Okay, let me restart that because that was not nice right there. Okay. All right, all right. So, let's see. So this next pattern right here, I got it from okay, this is kind of freaking out on me a little bit. Okay, excuse me, guys. This is why I wanted to have this mainly synchronized. Okay, so I think we're back. All right, let's go back. Uh, so right here, this is the last of the bars pattern here coming up. Okay, so I got this part right, pretty much from the second half of the second bars pattern all the way to all-time high. And just as an illustration, just to go back to what I'm talking about. Um, we are this guy right here. So this is the second half. So I started from the uptrend, going all the way to all-time high. So again, I'm not saying this is gonna happen or anything like that. I'm just tracking this pretty much for fun, not financial advice, but I'm tracking this, and now I'm very excited because to see what happens, because now this is the this bars pattern started right here, and we got this part right here, and now we're right here. So this continuation of this bars pattern, if we keep coming up here in the next week, I would say by the end of the week, this is what's tracking. This is what's gonna track right here, and especially with the news of the share offering, this could be massive. This could be massive price action coming up to the point that we could start seeing serious volatility going up. Okay, and not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure if this is a wedge of any kind. It doesn't really look like a wedge, but to me, like I said, I put started with a trend line from this big candle, bars pattern candle, and now you see this bars pattern candle crossing, and what is it doing? It's going up. And if it and let's just look at this bars pattern. This bars pattern stops at the golden zone resistance touch right here at 0.50 speed line, right? And it gets rejected. And this is going to be the week of Monday the 17th all the way to Friday the 21st. And if we see downside right here, which could happen too, we can start seeing downside to try to offset Roaring Kitty's $20 calls. But um, if that lands on the 21st, we could see a rejection week, a downside week, and start seeing sort of a support line right here, and also support here at this as this speed line right here, 0.25, and then Monday of the following week we can start seeing this on this bars pattern, and look what's gonna happen, guys. This is kind of ridiculous if it happens this way, because you're gonna start seeing massive price action here. The week of 26, the week of 26, Thursday, Friday, 28, all this price action here, and we're already crossing triple digits right here. You see a breakthrough of all-time high, and then probably some good volatility going up, and then massive rejection going down, and then support at all-time high might happen. Might go a little bit down, and then start going back up again. So we might find support at all-time high, and then following the week of July, the 1st, is where it could get interesting. This right here is, like I said, you could just take a look. It just takes the words out of me, right? Because I have no idea if it's gonna happen this way. I just don't know. We know none of us do. But the projected target for the bars pattern, the end of the bars pattern, is 2,200. So, what does this all mean, and does it have any validity? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like I said, I'm just gonna keep tracking it the way I see it, and you know, it might not happen the way we see it. Tomorrow we might have a sell-off here, and then, you know, come down or whatever. But I just don't see that happening. I see more upside potential on this trend right here, especially after the offering. We could see upside potential. Okay, so I could see that happening, right? So, now AMC. I wanted to try something on AMC, and I did, and I found something as well. Because with GameStop, this speed fan, um, I just have one speed fan on GameStop, and it's this one here. But on AMC, I have two. And if you guys have been watching any of my AMC videos, you guys could see that I have two. Um, I'm gonna go in, let's see, take a look at this one. This one's much more cleaner. Okay, so you guys know that, or anybody that's been watching my videos know that I have two speed fans. One from IPO from March 2015, one IPO speed fan I call it, and June 2nd speed fan. So I have two. And if you guys have seen any of my videos on this speed fan, you guys could see what this all means. Okay, so I wanted to try one on AMC. Okay, so I have a couple, but like I said, I don't know what's what yet because this the AMC chart looks a little bit more behind, so to speak. So um I'm gonna take this for I'm gonna take this yellow barge pattern for now, and I'm gonna focus on the blue one because the blue one, like I said, doesn't really um, make a lot of sense at all. And just look at this price action here. It does just doesn't really make a lot of sense in the beginning here. It just doesn't. It looks very disjointed, right? But what does make sense is that we have to get above the ground zero line, the June 2nd ground zero line, and the IPO speed line right here. This is going to be massive volatility for AMC if we get across this line and this line. And on GameStop, we've done that already. I've been saying this again and again that we've done that already on GameStop on the ground zero line. On AMC, we haven't yet, but we're approaching that very, very quickly. And if we trade sideways, this is going to be July 9th till we get crossover to this ground zero line. Ground zero line, IPO line right here. So this barge pattern doesn't really make any sense. It just doesn't match. But on the macro, it looks pretty interesting because I could see, ignore this one right here for now. I'll talk about this one, but I could see something like this on the macro side happening, right? Let's take a look at this. So I wanted to match something that when this price action similar to GME and had a similar outcome to June 3rd. That's what I was trying to get to. And this barge pattern right here on June 3rd, this wick right here touches this speed fan right here, which I believe is the point 0.5 the point 0.5 speed line. Yep, it's the point 0.5 speed line. Then there's a bunch of resistance in this point 0.5 speed line all over AMC's chart history here. This one right here. It's a bunch of resistance right here. Look at this right here. This is from way before. And you go back in AMC's history, you're gonna see a bunch of that resistance. But this is a big one right here. And this is no and just looking at this barge pattern, this looks, if this were to happen this way, there's going to be massively rejected from right here. And this price action here, this projected top is about 200 bucks. So let's take a look at this because this barge pattern right here on AMC is the January 21st June 2nd run up. This is January 27th, and we get all this price action going down. We see some support right here, and we start tracking this way all the way to our June 2nd squeeze. So just look at this, all this price action on this one. This fractal right here is massively important in the history of AMC. This one right here. this fractal as well. This one is important as well. But this one right here, it intrigued me so much to find something like this in this bars pattern, and kind of making it seem like, wow, look at this support. And let's take a look at this fractal right here. January 2021 top and December 2026 fractal. Let's go back and see where it touches. Right there, January 2021, on that fractal right there. It touches that right there. And then let's go even more back. It touches that fractal right there. This right here is the second highest point in AMC's trend line. This is the second highest point in it since its IPO right there. This right here. So the top of AMC was at this line right here, and this right here was the second top, or the second highest point, which is right here. And this fractal runs right through it. It runs through this one right here, where you get this point and then get rejected, and then it runs through January 27. It runs through this. It runs through January 27. We come here pre-market, and then we get rejected. Okay, and then when we start making our June 2nd run up, we come up, close green, and then we start pre-market in the bottom, and then we get this massive move, right? So what this is leading me to believe is that this fractal is huge. So we could see something similar again and again. And look at this. All this price action right here coming up and down, going up and then down again, up and down. Look at the resistance right there, over and then coming back down, all throughout the history, the AMC's history. This fractal is huge. This fractal is huge. And we haven't had any touch since February 23, because all this has been going down, and this is where we're at right now. But this fractal here, breaking over this fractal, is huge. We could see a massive rally upwards, but we could also see massive rejection as well. Because if we follow this same bars pattern here, remember I marked a couple of these things right here. So this, let's just go by looking at this bars pattern here at the top, projected top of July 3rd. The second highest point of IPO is all the way back there. The all-time high trend line of IPO is right there. So this bars pattern is crossing both, and the projected top is touching that 0.50, which that 0.50 is huge in AMC's history. Let's go take a look at a couple. This right here is one right there. This is, I believe this is March 22nd, when we went to post split, $34, and we got halted, massively halted, and then we got rejected many times. So we got this trend, we went broke out of it, we got rejected again. But the 0.5 line right here is always been a point of interest in AMC's history. So let's go back, take a look at a couple more. 0.5. It's 0.5 right here. Look at right here. So much support, or so much breakdown from this 0.5 zone right here. All this right here. All this. And then going back, breaking it, going down to support right here, and then touch at support at 0.5 on the 0.5 line, and then we get a massive rally up and over the 0.0 line. So it's always been 0.05, 0.618. That golden zone has always been in play for AMC in its history. So that like I said, not sure if it's gonna play that same way, but I'm just gonna keep a track on it and see what happens because it just looks interesting to me. It looks hella interesting to me. And this is this fractal right here. Okay, this yellow fractal right here is also important because this right here is the fractal of IPO all-time high fractal of IPO that goes all the way to the IPO all-time high. This right there, all-time high right there, and it's had a couple touch points, and it's not as strong as this trend right here, but it's still a fractal nonetheless, and it's an important one to break as well. It broke over January 2020 first, but then it broke down again. And then right here, before we got our melt up on June 2nd, right here, May 18, it hits that IPO all time high right there, and it gets rejected. And then after we break it the second time, we explode. We explode twice because we break over the IPO all time high fractal, and then this is the most important fractal, I believe, in AMC's history right here. So look at what all this does. So I believe that if something like this were to happen, it doesn't have to happen in July 3rd coming up, but something like this can happen relatively soon. Like I said, it doesn't have to happen within a couple months, but it's gonna happen where if we start breaking out of this explosive price action in between these two fractals, and then more explosive price action above. But if we're just looking at this bars pattern the way we're looking at it, and just take a look at it more, just to see what's up. Look at this final the IPO 0.75 speed line right there. It gets support on the fractal line, crosses over, and goes back up. And then once you start getting to the support, you start seeing more stable price action here. You get support right there, support right here, and then you start melting up. So like I said, this bars pattern here is extremely interesting because now we get to this point. The all-time high would be October 25th. Well, according to this bars pattern, right? So we don't know. But now this line right here, this touch point, this touch point, this blue line touches June 2nd and touches March 2015. So this line just goes straight across here, and then based on this fractal, it cuts through, squeezing and cutting through this line. It might be that we might see another resistance right here, maybe, where we touch it and then we bounce off. But I don't know. I have no idea what's gonna happen. Obviously, none of us do. But it's just fun to look at all of this and speculate, right? But nonetheless, this to me looks just like it fits, right? And it, like I said, it doesn't have to fit in July 3rd. It could be anywhere here and it could fit. But to me, this looks very like just picture perfect because it just touches a lot of points where you could start seeing a bunch of supports here. And if this hits right here, and if this happens, man, on calls, I'm gonna load up on calls right here, September. I'm gonna load up on calls. I don't know if I'm gonna do monthlies. I might do monthlies and try to catch this, and then this dip right here, and then try to see if it could catch this all this right here. But again, it's too early to do any of that. So for now, this looks just interesting on AMC, and I did another bars pattern on it just to play around with a shrinked one, and this one right here looks, it does kind of fit this price action right here, kind of, because it does this, and now we're expected to probably see more of an upside coming up, and then the crossover to ground zero, and then this. But I just believe, just going on what makes more sense to me is that once we start seeing the crossover. Oh, okay. So if we get this, let's say this speed fan works, okay, maybe it does, and then we see a top of $42 in September 2024. But who knows? We might get rejected and come back down. Who knows? Like I said, who knows? But to me, I'm just gonna do a bunch of these and see what fits and what doesn't, and keep tracking that. But to me, what makes more sense is explosive price action over this ground zero line. That's what I've been basing this theory on. That there has to be explosive price action beyond this ground zero line on AMC, because GameStop already had it, or is having it. They have explosive price action beyond this ground zero line. So to me, this is a lead. GameStop is a leader, and AMC is following right behind. And once we get crossover to this line, crossover the IPO, explosive price action will come. I'm not sure. I don't think this is gonna track too much, but once we get over this price action, this bars pattern might come this way, and we might start seeing this price action just start carrying over. But we shall see. But for now, I'm tracking GameStop. I'm tracking GameStop to the point that this looks like we're gonna get a heavy price action up, up and up. And if that happens, watch out, man, because this could start tracking this way. So again, not financial advice. We shall see what happens. I'm very excited. I'm very excited, just to say the least. I actually bought the dip on GameStop on Friday, down here at $23, and I loaded up. So I was just like, you know what? If I'm charting this, I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is, and I'm gonna commit to this. So it's going good right now. But like I said, I'm looking at this next week bullish, and then start seeing if we get any of this movement here. So again, I'm gonna start just streaming more, and trying to do more charts. Follow me on Twitter, Apes versus a Machine, and I also have a TikTok account posting some pictures. I posted already a bunch of these pictures tracking this right here. So also Apes versus a Machine. So look me up, and follow me and see what happens. So until now, take care, and powers to the players.